through lands awash in dark secrets and half-forgotten truths. The duo Uralant and Amrasari wield swordsmanship and seduction alike in the pursuit of fortune and precious coin. But when a failed ploy for riches leads them to a city seduced beneath the thrall of ancient and malevolent sorcery, they unwillingly become entwined in the schemes of a nightmarish zealot and his own search for guarded treasures. Hello and welcome to Liam's Lyceum. I am your host Liam, aka Hemvar, and today I'll be doing a spoiler-free review of Chase A. Folmar's Frolic on the Amaranthyn. Frolic on the Amaranthyn is a 2022 Sword and Sorcery novella published by Sable Star Press and by Chase A. Folmar. It is in the tradition of the weird and in the vein specifically of Clark Ashton Smith, so this is a dark cosmic horror flavored fantasy. I'd also like to point out that the story opens with a quote from Gene Wolfe, specifically from The Claw of the Conciliator, which I thought was a great way to start a novella, because, personally I love Wolfe. Anyways, we do get introduced to our characters relatively soon. I think the introduction's actually done pretty well, as it's in medias res, which is pretty typical of Sword Sorcery subgenre. So Uralant and Amrasari are our protagonists, and Amrasari is a thief utilizing her charms to do well in her trade, while Uralant is a brutish warrior that does have some proper learning under his belt as well. But together they are the scandalous rogues that are, the duo that we follow. It takes about until chapter 2, I think, to get really interesting, since chapter 1 does start in medias res, and it's just a little odd, which is fine, but overall, I thought it was a nice setup, and the first 2 chapters do really do a good job of it, especially introducing the duo, the intrigue of the world, and the odd, weird world that, the story takes place in, as well as, of course, some action that you're not quite expecting. It actually kind of reminded me some of Ed Greenwood with his, things are going swimmingly, and then all of a sudden people die very brutally. That's what it kind of reminded me of. I would say Folmar's prose is perfect, at least for someone like me. It's languid and attractive in its language, making action fluid and dialogue a treat. I do think some would find it a bit too archaic or literary, though, and honestly it did teach me some words and that I was already not familiar with, and considering I'm someone who generally looks for that stuff, that means there's quite a bit here. So not like overflowing with it, but just as a heads up for, because I know some people don't like it and I know some people look for it. Now, I will say the title does seem rather poetic, but in the diegetic world, Frolic is a boat on the Amaranthyn, which is a river that runs through Lucrauna, which is the city that our protagonists find themselves in shortly after the start. And I would definitely say you can definitely see the influence of Clark Ashton Smith rather strongly here. I've seen some other people compare it to Vance. I didn't see it that much, but maybe I haven't read enough Vance yet to see that. But, it is very interesting. I do kind of feel like there's some themes there about love, definitely with our duo, because they are not just a thieving duo, but a couple as well. And there's also definitely seems to be a theme about masks and the masks we wear. And don't worry, there's also definitely some horror elements to this, as you would expect with the Clark Ashton Smith influence. I do think the plot is structured very well, and it flows just fine, of course. There is more of Folmar you can read. This is not his debut, so to speak. So if you want to read some stuff for free, you can actually go to Whetstone, for example. Issues 1, 3, and 4, I believe, have his stories in there. I know 1 does, for sure. I've read that story. I think it's great. I believe Witch House, the magazine, issue 1, also has some stories by Folmar in there. But anyways, this is a fun, short read that if you want a taste of modern Sword and Sorcery, and since dark fantasy is relatively popular these days too, then this might be a good one for you. Just make note of the structure of the prose and, really the vocabulary utilized in the prose. Make sure that might not be your thing, so just take note of that as well. But overall, I really enjoyed it. I am looking forward to anything else that Folmar comes out with, of course. So it's been Liam of Liam's Lyceum. If you want to join the bookish discussion, I do have a Discord that I will link down below, and you can come and talk about Sword and Sorcery and other things. Have a good one.